Check, check, check. Yes, yes, yes. Check 1, 2. All right. Hey, what's up, guys? Happy New Year, and welcome to the show. My name is Jordan P. Anderson, and thank you for watching. On today's episode, we're going to be talking a little bit today about how to run a yearly review. I thought this was timely. I thought this made the most sense today. It is the start of the new year. So, we all have a little bit of downtime before we got to go back to the office, before we got to get back to actual work. And this is a good chance. I usually do this on the day of the new year, January 1st. What we're about to go over takes, I want to say it takes about, you want to set aside at least 3 hours of attention. You don't have to all do it in one sitting. I recommend you do it in one sitting, but all this that we're about to do takes about 3 to 4 hours. Depends on if you do it with a partner or by yourself. Let's get started. So I want to share with you a kind of like greatest hits list of kind of yearly reviews. This isn't something that's new. This is, yearly reviews, annual reviews. Let me kind of give you a sense of like what I do and what the kind of system that I work in, and then we're going to jump right into Notion and go through everything. We're going to go through each step so that you can watch this video, you can rewind, go back and forth. I'll publish this entire video probably in the next couple days so that you guys can go back, watch everything you need to do, take notes. I'll even put together a Notion template once this video is uploaded. So let's kind of get started. Hope everyone is having a great time. Check the stream, make sure we got a healthy stream, that all the data is flowing properly. Looks like it is. And if you have any questions or if I go over anything that doesn't exactly make sense, just hit me up in the chat, and I'll address it as we go forth. So, oh yeah, new lighting setup. I'm just playing around a little bit. I got a little headlight. Got a little. I took the lamp that was back here. That was just kind of like, doing a little wash on the studio backdrop here, and I'm playing around with it as a hair light, little catch light here. Add a little dimension. So just got it on a C-stand here, kind of boomed up, and there's the source right there, in case you're wondering. And then I'm using like colored just LED Wi-Fi light bulbs, and then I got a key light here, and I think this looks nice. And then usually I'm like, never have I ever thought so much about what I wear on camera, but when I'm streaming 3 days a week, I'm like, did I wear this last week, or am I wearing the same outfit? And I have shifted my outfit to more minimal stuff, so it's more like I have a lot of like white shirts and grays and blacks, and I find that the white shirt is it's very poppy on the key light here. I don't know if it just kind of washes me out, but I feel like I wear black sometimes too much. Like, that's my favorite shirt to wear is a black shirt, but I feel like I kind of like fall away from the camera. But, oh, and a good lighting tip before we get started, have a warm key light. This is set to 3200. This camera is set to 3200 Kelvin. We got this. I shifted this all the way to 6000. I was like, just make it totally contrast. So it's 6000, looks very blue. And this hair light, I had it cold, and I was like, let me get it a little bit of medium, because I had it all the way warm. That was like making me like I was looking like a white elf Gladriel, some like warm halo above me. So I was like, let's cool this down a little bit. It's just a random cinematography tip for you. Okay, a yearly review. So the system that I normally work in is, and you should go check it out, and it is August Bradley on Notion. I sat there, watched all 37 of his videos about how to set up your entire life on Notion, and it was a lot to take in. But I set it up entirely on Notion. How he sets it up is that you track your days, and your days get collected into tracking your weeks. And then your weeks get tracked into months. So, at the end of every week, you have a collection of all the days that you put together, and the same thing with the month. At the end of the month, you have a collection of weeks that you've put together, and at the end of the quarter, you have 3 months that you've put together that have all kind of amalgamated into a quarterly review. And the nice part about it, if you set up the systems right, if you set up the roll-ups and the data and the formulas correctly, that as you are tracking your days, it just gets bundled automatically into your weeks, and as you're tracking your weeks, it gets bundled into your weeks. You have to do at the end of the day, you have to do a daily review. At the end of every week, usually on Friday for me, Friday in the afternoon, if I do a weekly review, and then you set something on your calendar, usually the 29th, the 30th, the 31st of the month, or the 28th. You set a monthly review, and you say, I'm going to review the last 4 to 5 weeks, see what has happened, see what's working, see what's not, see what projects are getting pushed, see what projects are moving forward, how are we achieving our goals, are we hitting our goals, are we on track, how are we tracking these goals, and then once you kind of bundled all your month together, then it's the same thing for the quarterly. You say month 1, 2, and 3, January, February, March. Here's what we did. Here are the highlights from January. Here are the highlights, lowlights from February, and highlights, lowlights from March. And here's where we are on track with everything as a whole. So that's how I do my normal reviews. So an annual review is like, let's kind of put this all together. And I've used a couple different systems on annual reviews before. I think, let me double check, but I believe everything right now is in. I need to go to my own video. Everything should be in the description below. So I've used things like I've used one from Medium.com, the one guy's article that I found to be super useful. I've used Rand Segal's. He's like kind of a Webflow guy. I've used his stuff, and I've also used August Bradley stuff. And I'm kind of like, this is all going to be kind of a mix, mashup, top. Now that's what I call music, mix up of everything that is good and nice when it comes to and reviews. Okay, so I think I've set this up. Is there anything else I'm missing before we kind of get into the exercise? Let me check. I don't believe. Let me think on this. I've grown with live streaming. I've grown more confident and more comfortable with silence. I don't feel like I am on the air, but I don't really feel like I'm on the air. I'm here. I'm in my room, hanging out. Is there anything else to go over? Okay. So let's kind of dive into it. Let me switch over my screens over to Notion. And with Notion, I'm debating whether or not I should go light mode or dark mode. So let's try light mode first. And I'm trying not to show you my Notion at all. Okay, let's maybe go dark mode. That might be, is that easier on the eyes? I can't tell. Okay, let's switch over here. Here we are on Notion. Is that too bright? I'm looking at that, I'm like, I usually hang out in dark mode. If I'm looking at the screen all damn day, then I need a breather. I got the nightlight on this screen. I got, yellow filters and everything. I'm like, I cannot stare at the screen all damn day. Yeah, is that better? That feels better. But I just don't know if that's like 100% readable. Let me make sure that you guys can read everything. Because I don't. Kind of zoom in a little bit for you guys. All right, let's try light mode. Let's go with it. It's even give me a little nice key light. Okay, so your yearly review. All right. Nope. Now I'm realizing that all this has to be changed. All right, yearly review. Plans. Here's a quote. Plans are worthless, but planning is essential. And that was General and President Dwight D. Eisenhower said that. And that makes perfect sense. We're going to make a plan. I think the biggest problem with what we have with goals and yearly stuff is that, or the habits, everything kind of falls off by the wayside. Everything falls, we all know this. It's January. I go to the gym. I like to work out. And during this time, I do not go to the gym because I know that every loser goes to the gym in January ready to change their life and get fit and try out this new machine, and there's just a shitload of people at the gym. I see through all of this, and then I start showing up in the gym in February, and everybody dips down. So it helps to be aware of that you're going to do an annual review. You're going to make some cool goals. You're going to set up some nice, fun habits that you think you're going to change, and it's not going to happen. But you got to have a positive outlook. We have to really believe that we can do this. We have to, and how I've kind of set up this yearly review, that there are a lot of in-depth questions with this. It's not just what do you want to do, it's what do you want to do and why. And that's going to be a recurring theme, because we cannot do anything. What is the point without a reason? Especially in your business. And this is also, I should preface this. This review is aimed at your business, aimed at your small business. So if you're a creative entrepreneur, photographer, videographer, this is probably for you. And now let's go into Notion. And again, if this is the year you've thought about starting Notion or getting into Notion, this is the year. Get into Notion. This will change your life. This will organize your life. It's not a cure-all, but it's pretty damn close. So, your yearly review. So, we'll go through all these categories. So, it's pillar audit, self-diagnosis, yearly goals, personal development, and then your game plan. So, we're going to go through one at a time. And I promise you by the end of this, I will have a template ready so that if you're watching this video in a couple days, not this live stream, this template, ow, just poked myself in the eye, this will all be available. Okay, so let's get into a pillar audit. So I've talked about pillars before. Pillars they are not goals, they are not measurable goals. These are the things that just categorize your life. So health, fitness, family, relationships, career, money, sales, marketing, content creation, whatever you can think of that applies to your life. That is what your life is about. So, and this is just a template example. I'm not going to fill any of this out. I just want to walk through this stuff to give you guys a sense of what it is. So, how you do the pillar audit is you come in here and 1 is totally unfulfilled and 5 is completely unfulfilled. So I would say start with these categories. You can add more if you'd like, but these are the kind of, I think, a pretty roundabout, make everything about, this is pretty good. I don't think there's any gaps in here. Emotional well-being, health and fitness, friends, community, money and finances, love and relationships, career, family, creativity and adventure. And I recommend I did this with my wife 2 years ago, and this is great. Her and I both did our own reviews, and we did them together out loud. We had I had the giant post-it notes on the wall, and we were kind of going over it and each, okay, where are we here? Where are we with? All right, we're at a 3 with money. Next year, I think we want to be at a 4, or. And you kind of evaluate, okay, all right, COVID, well, we didn't really make any new friends this year in COVID, so maybe that's something that we want to achieve for in 2021. It's this is a chance for you to say, okay, I'm pretty good here, feel good here, and you start to go okay, here's some things that need improvement, here's good, we're all good, and it's and I even put a note section here, so you can go in and say, emotional well-being, why are you a 5? I feel great all the time. Sure. So that's your pillar audit. And once you're done with that, we're then going to move on to our self-diagnosis. So before we set our goals, before we make any big plans, it really helps that we kind of have some inner perspective. And if you're doing this with a partner, they can even give you some outside perspective. But it's why, or, if you have a map and you're trying to go somewhere, yes, you can choose a destination. But if you do not know where you are on that map, then how can you expect to make a route that will get you to that destination? Are you on the bottom of the map? Are you at the north end of the map, the top, middle of the map? If you don't know where you are, then how do you know where you're going to go? So, this is why we do a self-diagnosis, because we are doctors. So, self-diagnosis. This first question is just to get your brain thinking, because sometimes when I say tell me about a success this year, you go, I don't know. So, this first question, what has happened? Major events for you in 2020, and just list out everything. I got this happened here, I closed this project, opened up this, started doing this, I lost this. It's just go through everything. Wins and fails, accomplishments, disappointments, every single thing, or not, or just neutral things. Just this happened. We got this. It's just whatever. Started live streaming. Who cares? So you put all that, and this is just to get the kind of wheels turning. So then we say, what is your biggest win? I'm not going to put your biggest disappointment here, because I am aimed at optimism and aimed at positivity in this review. There are going to be sections in here for negativity or for things I did not like, but I don't want to say what was your biggest failure, or because we can talk about our failures, we can talk about our biggest disappointments, or what made us the saddest or angriest this year, but unless we're going to make something constructive out of this, there's no, I say just not to say avoid your problems, but just if it doesn't have any larger implications, like my grandpa died, then it needs to find a positive. We need to find something positive out of it. So that's why I say I'm not going to put biggest fails, biggest wins. What was your biggest win? This happened to me. I closed this deal. I landed this project. I got a new camera, whatever. What has been working? So this is to start to think about what has been working and why. These are the things that you are presently doing or have been doing or did in 2020 that you saw had some positive results. You're starting to see some traction. Maybe you're starting a new social media account. Maybe for me, I started my daily email list, and it's okay, this has been working. I could change some of these things in the daily email, and start to kind of like, why do we think it's working? And like, you kind of need to make a judgment, like, why did this YouTube video get 100 views or get 1,000 views? And why did this video only get 5 views? Or why did I posted these types of Instagram photos, this has been working. Why do I think it's working? It's working because I believe this, or this is the data, what the data tells me. Or even in general, it doesn't even have to be like social media. It can be like, what has been working in my life. I seem, when I wake up and I do yoga, that seems to keep me motivated all day long and keeps me like loose and ready to go. Like, it's things like that. What has been working? And then the next question, what has not been working and why? And these are like, okay, you're putting a lot of effort into this. Maybe you try to open up a social media, maybe you try a new TikTok account and you've done like 100 posts and just nothing seems to be working. What has not been working? Okay, this has not been working. Why? Not to say that we need to stop doing it or not. That's what I'm not necessarily saying we need to stop doing it, but should we reconsider? Or, okay, I seem to, whatever it is, I eat too much ice cream and I get a stomach ache, so I gotta stop. Or like I drink on Friday, and I get a hangover on Saturdays, and Saturdays are for doing productive things. It's like whatever whatever the scenario is in your life, write it down. What has not been working? What presently, and we'll get to habits. Like, what habits are you doing? But like, things in your business that is working and is not working. Your favorite project. This is looking back at your favorite project and then starting to and I want you to kind of like describe everything about it. Describe the client, describe the type of work, describe the payment, describe the project length, describe the genre of the project, and then I want you to describe your least favorite project. So this is one of the negative aspects. Why was it your least favorite project? And then list all those aspects too. Money. What was the conflict? Why were you frustrated? What was the major cause of stress? Same with favorite project. Like, what was the major cause of, or was it stressful? Because sometimes good projects are stressful, but in a good way. Like, they keep you on your toes. They keep you thinking. Least favorite projects, maybe you weren't getting paid enough, or maybe the hours were too long, or maybe the client was rude. And I want you, and what this is going to do, these two things here, it's going to help you start to think about what kind of projects do I want to take in 2021 and why, and what kind of projects do I want to start to avoid, or projects that look like this usually end up like this, or I usually do not like projects like this, and therefore I am going to reconsider when it comes into my inbox. That's the purpose of these last two questions. What is it that I liked? What did I not like? Because the idea is, in a perfect scenario in your business, you are trying to push yourself more towards projects that you do like, that inspire you, that keep you going, that fuel you, that kind of fuel your soul as well as your bank account and your business, and start to avoid the things that cause you stress, that don't bring any money onto the table, and start to recognize that, okay, when I'm the middleman, I don't usually have a fair shake at the projects, and that means I can't really charge what I deserve, or I don't get the respect I deserve, or I'm not really brought into the planning phase of the project. So any project that I'm kind of a middleman, I want to avoid. Oh, projects that I work directly with the client, yeah, I like those. I'm able to charge more, I can make a better profit with it, and I can also solve bigger problems and feel like I've had more of a bigger impact. It's thinking like that. So I say so. That's one that, okay. This might be my 2021 thing, is this, like, I realize in all these live streams, I say this, and I go, yeah, so. And I just, so in all my edits, I'm just editing out, so. Now that I'm aware of it, I'll try not to do it less. So, oh no, I just did it. Self-diagnosis is done. Let's move on to your yearly goals. It's a habit. It's a habit we have to break, Jordan. I'm sorry. I want to say, so these yearly goals, now I'm aware of saying so. These yearly goals are from August Bradley's format. This is the kind of format that I use for kind of planning my year, planning my quarterly reviews, my weekly, monthly, and also my projects. Value goals and measurable goals. Value goals, you have to remember, I think I talked about this in a video a while back, but value goals were the intangible, soulful goals that are hard to measure and or maybe even immeasurable. Like, I want to be the best person on YouTube. I want to be the best photographer on Instagram. Hard to kind of track that. There's no real true ranking for that. I want to be a leading expert in my field, or I want to be the go-to number one person when someone has this type of problem. Hard to kind of track. Hard to like put some data around that. But that is nevertheless a goal that we can achieve and we can start to strive for. So that is a value goal. So in the value goal, write everything you want, and you can only realistically focus on no more than 2 to 4. So, oh my God, I'm saying so much. So much. The value goals, you can only really focus on 2 to 4. If you try to get more, like you try to really stack up this year, like you're feeling really ambitious this year, or you got some time on your hands, you're like, I can do a ton this year, or I have big plans this year. The reason I say try to focus on 2 to 4 is because that is, I think, the bandwidth, or a goal should be large enough so that if you only chose 2 to 3 or 4 in an entire year, that it would take up a majority of your time for the entire year. So you make a list, you write it down. These are the goals I want to accomplish. What's the motivation here? Now we're talking like a little director. What's the motivation here? Because if we have the goal, we want to achieve the goal, we want to be the best in our field, we want to be the number one ranked person, we want to be the best photographer, the best wedding photographer in the state of Virginia, whatever the goal is, how big or small, what is the motivation here? Why? Because if we don't know why, then what is the point? There has to be a reason. There has to be some kind of motivation, and it can be money, family. Like, hey, I want to do this specific goal because it will make my family happy, or it will make me happy about myself. Whatever the motivation is, that's a direct question to you. Obstacles. What could possibly be in the way of achieving this goal or these goals? Is it money? Is it resources? Is it time? Is it people? Is it equipment? Is it knowledge? What is in the way of not being able to achieve the goal? Skills and knowledge I need. So now you're thinking, okay, here's the roadblocks, here are the walls that we have to climb over. What ladder, tool, rope, shovels do I need to get over or under or around the wall? And this comes in the forms of skills, knowledge, education, and then the next one, people that can help me. This, I like, when I read this one I got from Rand Segal, it's like, damn, I never even thought about that. It's like, I try to be as self-reliant and self-sufficient as possible, and that's not what I think of when I say I want to achieve this goal. Who can help me achieve this goal? But this is something that I want you guys to start implementing in your life, that it's okay to ask for help. It is okay to reach out to somebody and say, I want to be partners on this. I want to start a joint venture on this. I want you to be part of this program with me, or I want to go into business with you, or I want to be partners with this. I realize you can go into business with people, but you don't have to have a business partnership. You can just have a joint venture. Say, hey, I have this one little project that I think we can do. You want to join me on this? Let's kind of work together. It happens all the time in the business world. It happens all the time in the small business world, or even the medium-sized business world, where two companies will work together, like an agency and a video production house, or a photographer and a video production house. I saw it happen all the time when I was working in Baton Rouge, that we'd have just kind of two joint ventures working together. Hey, we're both working on this same project. Let's kind of put it together, put our heads together, put our resources together, and achieve the same goal and get paid for it. That is something that you need to start thinking about when you're setting out your goals. Who can help me with this? Or it could be like, hey, I want to do couples yoga. I need my wife to help me do this. Or I want to join a gym. I need a fitness coach. I want a fitness trainer to help me, or I need someone motivating me, or whatever it is. So there it is. That's just my end of thought. Period. I just be like, period. Measurable goals. These are one step deeper from value goals. Measurable goals are everything you want. Again, only choose 2 to 4. So value goals are different than measurable goals. And if this is immeasurable, a value goal, then a measurable goal is measurable. So only choose 2 to 4 for the year. Why it matters, what's the motivation, the obstacle standing in your way, the skills and knowledge that you need to acquire or achieve this goal, and then the people that can help you. It could be mentors, it can be family, it can be friends, it could be business people, it can be colleagues, business mentors, business coaches, whoever. All right, so we're moving along pretty nicely. Let's see if we have any questions over in the chat. Thank you guys for watching so much. And if you have any questions, put them in the chat. Happy New Year to everyone. All of these annual reviews, and again, I'll have my annual review template out to you guys shortly, but if you want to check out some other people's, I've done a kind of greatest hits, all kind of down in the description below. I feel like I lost my light when I came here. Oh, I'm looking at a dark screen. And now I'm looking at a white screen. Oh, yep. So my computer screen is blasting me with light. Your yearly review. Now it's time for we were just on yearly goals. Now let's go into personal development. So we've gotten kind of the pillars out of the way, the self-diagnosis. We kind of know what's going on in the world, our yearly goals. Now we kind of set some business goals. All right, now we're getting closer to the game plan. Let's take a personal break. Let's take a personal moment to talk about personal development. And I want you to we're not doing resolutions. We're not doing goals. We're not doing just random arbitrary goals. For personal development, what is this year's core focus? If you could only choose one thing that you want to do or change or add or subtract from your life, what is that focus? And I say you can choose multiple ones. You can, but you should only choose one. Can or should only. Put that parentheses in the wrong place. My apologies. So for me last year, I said no more alcohol. Gave it up. Stopped drinking alcohol. It was nice in college, but just had to back away from it. That was my goal. I said, I'm going to see if I can go an entire year without drinking. All the friendly social gatherings, everything was centered around alcohol. All the holidays centered around alcohol. Just nope, no more alcohol. I think it makes me a better person, sharper person. Not a better person, morally. I don't care if you drink, whatever. But that was my goal for the last year, was to say, I'm going to give it up. I'm going to try my best. And I think I did pretty well. I slipped up, I think, less than 10 times the entire year. And slip up meaning, had at least one drink. And this year I think is going to be the same thing. No alcohol, see if I can go an entire year without it. It was a distraction. Makes me less good at this kind of stuff. And, so whatever your goal is. Yoga, breathing, running, jogging, reading, knowledge, understanding myself, getting to know my spouse again, whatever your core focus. But I just want you to try to really focus on just one single thing, mantra, and try not to make it just make it broad. But then we're going to start to distill down a game plan on the focus. So skills to learn. I wanted to say education, and I wanted to write down what online courses or what books you're going to read this year, but I just wanted to go in general and just say the skills. These are and skills does not have to necessarily mean business. It could be something more broader. It could be in your life. I want to get better at, for me, it could be I want to get better at cleaning the house. I want to get better at working on this fitness technique, or working on a better technique in weightlifting, or skills I need to learn. I want to learn I want to get better at sales. I want to get better at funnels. I want to get better at managing money. I want to get better at lighting, photography, live streaming, whatever. Like and you can, this one I say go, like, whatever you want to learn, like cooking, like make a huge list for this one, because this is all the skills that you can, like marketing, content marketing, YouTube, like any kind of skill that you can think of, I want you to put here. Or like something you're curious about. I want to learn how to play the piano. I think that's going to be this year's goal. Skills to learn, and then how will you learn them? And that is more focused on what tools and resources, or kind of make, because again, if we don't have a plan, how do we know how we're going to get there? So if we say skills, to say, hey, I want to get better at writing sales copy. I want to get better at being a salesperson and working in sales. Okay, I got a book right here. All right, how will I learn? I just got this book right here, the Ultimate Sales Letter by Dan Kennedy. I'm going to read this book this month, and that's how I'm going to learn it. You could say it's an online course. You could say YouTube. You could say from a friend. Whatever it is are the skills. How much time will it take to learn this skill? I put this question because it's and it's hard to sometimes determine how long it's going to take, but I want there to be some kind of time pressure added to this, because if it's just like, I have a year to learn this, then we're not going to really put any pressure on ourselves. I'm going to learn how to do hand-drawn calligraphy with an ink pen. It's like, okay, when are you going to learn that? How long will it take you to learn that? Oh, it could probably take me like a weekend to learn that. Okay, now we have 2 days. So you're saying you have 2 days to learn this. All right, put the pressure on and take 2 days to learn this. How long will it take me to learn sales and marketing? I don't know. Like how long will it take you to read this book? All right, maybe a week and a half. I don't know. 10 days to read the book and fully absorb it. So like add some time pressure to it. We need to have a little bit, the problem with habits, the problem with these kind of goals, like I want to lose weight, I want to work out, I want to read more books, there's no time pressure added to it. So it's just kind of bleh. It's just kind of whatever, kind of falls flat. That's why people fall flat in January, because they didn't say, I'm going to go to the gym every single day, or it's like you just have a random plan. You just need to have something with an added time pressure. For 10 minutes a day, I'm going to do this skill, I'm going to learn this skill, I'm going to work on this skill every single day. If I do it for 10 minutes every single day for the next month, I think I'll have a good grasp on it. Skills to perfect. This is kind of thinking like, okay, what do you know, or what do you think you're good at right now and that you're trying to perfect, and why? So I think I'm good at YouTube, and I'm trying to better perfect it. I think I understand, like I have a 90% of the knowledge, I think, of YouTube. And maybe that's just the point of knowledge that I'm in right now. And I think I want to learn that last 11% to really make everything kind of click on YouTube. That's the kind of skills I want to perfect. So what do you want to perfect? Habits to drop. This is one other point of negativity. Habits to drop. What are the things? Because if we're going to add anything to 2021, we have to leave some things behind. Let's kind of 2020 was a year of slip-ups, a year of giving all ourselves a break. And so we may have developed some bad habits this year, and maybe the situations won't really change in 2021, or at least for the next couple months, or we're not really going back to normal. So now we have to we all kind of had this mindset that we're like, okay, well, it's only temporary, so I'll just, whatever, I'll make something. Like, I'll wear my pajamas all day long, I don't really care. And it's like, all right, well, you don't really feel productive. You don't really, when you dress up in normal clothes, you kind of act a little more productive around the house, because you're not like cozy comfy all the time. So maybe that's a habit we need to drop. We need to wake up in the morning and put on normal clothes so that we feel a little bit more productive during the day. It's just a random thought. But like, what habits do we want to drop in 2021? Leave it behind. And then also answer the question, why are these habits bringing you down? Okay. If I dress in pajamas all day long and I'm on Zoom calls and working from home, then I never really wake up, or I never really feel productive. When I put on fresh set of clothes, I'm like, here, I'm awake, I'm alert. again, we have to articulate this stuff. We cannot just say, I want to do this, I want to lose weight, I want to get stronger, I want to read 1,200 words a day. It's like, you just, why, answer why, and then move on. Great. All right, we are coming to the very end. Now it's the game plan. Oh, of course, I put right here, random ideas, just, little things that don't quite fit. Hey, I want to do this, I want to invent this new thing, I want to write a song, whatever. It's like, all right, it doesn't exactly fit in a quarterly annual plan, so just drop it right there. Now let's head over. Get one last sip. All right, let's go into game plan, folks. All right, the game plan. First, let's start with, I'll give you a whole kind of, it's not that much. Quarterly look at, but let's first start with the weekly allocation. So in the weekly allocations, I've kind of done a little formula here. On the left column, we obviously have the pillars or the things we want to work on. So it could be, family, could be, cooking, could be new habit formation, whatever new habit you're going to start, add it right there. Weekly allocation, this is kind of aimed at your business as well. And left columns is the title of the kind of core pillars that you have in your business that you want to focus on. The percentage of time, so you would add your number right here, and all the numbers have to add up to 100 because it's a percentage. Percent means 100, or out of 100. So all these had to add up to 100, and then it does a little doodad formula and kind of gives you how many hours per week you need to dedicate to each of these. I guess we can go even one step further. Here, I can just duplicate that. I'm telling you guys, get on Notion. Love this. Hours per day. So like average hours per day. Let's do that. Edit that formula. So instead of this property, I'm going to take weekly hours and divide it by 7. Nope. Done. Okay, yeah, that's kind of fine. Oh, God. Wait. Divided by 7. And then times it by 60? No. Yeah, times 60. No. Okay. These are kind of like average hours per day. So like, if you were to do, all right, the number is insane. Don't just round up, folks. Okay, so you're gonna take your marketing. You're like, how much do I want to spend? How much do I want to allocate towards working on sales, my fitness, education, product, content creation, marketing? You're like, okay, I want to, 30% of the time I want to be working on marketing, and I want to spend the other part of the time working on content creation. Okay, product development, let's spend it like 15 times, and then I'll spend like 15% of that time, and then, all right, now we have to make a decision. What do we want to focus on more, education or fitness? All right, let's focus more on fitness than education. 5.0. Does have like a weird 500. Okay. Is that added to 500? No, that does not. So then we say 7.5. Oh, we can have 5% somewhere. All right, let's work on sales a little bit more. There, now we have 100. And I said 65 hours per week because there's 168 hours per week, but let's say 9 to 10 of those is sleeping or doing sleep habit stuff, getting ready for bed. And then, so I just kind of, I was like, okay, scratch that. If 10, so that's 70 hours. And then my math was like, I said, all right, let's say you work a 50-hour week in your small business. All right, that's 50 hours. And then let's say there are an additional 2 hours or an additional 1 hour per day. So I said like, okay, if it's 2 hours per day, that's 14 hours. Let's add just an extra hour. So that's 15 plus 50, that's 65. That's how I get 65 hours. So you can change and adjust this and say, hey, all right, I actually have 70 hours a week I want to dedicate to all this, or I have 40 hours a week I want to dedicate to all this. If you're rocking on a 40-hour week, then this will be your kind of outcome. You would say, okay, marketing, you need to spend 12 hours a week on that, 8 hours a week on this, six, even like, okay, 8 hours, that means I need to spend at least one day on it, or I need to spend, you start to like, I'll just do like, just mental math right now, days worked. So you can say like, okay, that's like 1.5 day, that's 1 day, that's half a day, that's 1 day, that is a quarter of a day. So, or even over here, like 0.42 hours, so like 30 minutes a day, a little over 30 minutes a day. Let me do some calculation. Now we're getting into time. Times 0.42. So yeah, 25 minutes a day on fitness and education. That's not a bad ask. And then like 1.75 hours a day. You kind of break it down. Like if you were to spread out all this, or if you were to all work this in a single day, like I'm going to spend all of Tuesday on sales, funnels, and optimization, or I'm going to spend all Monday or all of Friday working solely on content creation. That's how you can look at it. Now let's move on to quarterly basis, quarterly projects. So I want to, again, remember like what I said at the very beginning of this whole live stream, that I look at things from a quarterly basis, monthly basis, weekly basis, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly. Yearly basis is nice. My premise with all this is a yearly basis is nice, but I really like to look at things kind of in big chunks of quarters. So like, I have a love-hate relationship with the quarterly perspective, especially coming from like corporate world. But this helps you kind of like, okay, another way I look at it is like I basically have 90 days to try to do this project. So what major project or projects do I want to accomplish in the first quarter? What targets do I want to hit? So you say like, I want to consistently live stream on YouTube. Okay, that's the major project. So YouTube live stream. That's what I want to do. YouTube live stream. Okay, so what would be a target? That's like, all right, now we have the value goal. What's the measurable goal? What's your target? Okay, I want to stream 3 times a week, so that's 12 a month. So 12 times 3 is 36. I want to do at least 35 to 40 live streams in the quarter. That's like kind of a target. You can go one step further and say like, okay, obstacle. What obstacles are you have in mind, or that are going to be here? And then you can go back and do the same thing that you did over here in your yearly goals. Skills I need to know, people I need that can help me, obstacles, what's the motivation here? You can do all that for your quarterly goals. So, and these will kind of shift. And like you can even say, okay, if you go back and look at this, say, okay, what's your next year's goal? All right, well, this kind of got shifted over. This kind of got shifted over to quarterly, second quarter, third quarter. And then finally at the very bottom, your target revenue for 2021. How much money do you want to make? And if you break down that number, then you can say, okay, if I want to make $100,000 this year, that's something I've like tried to articulate in the live streams. I'm going to try to make $100,000 this year, or maybe not this year. It's like, this is what's been so weird to articulate. To put it out there, say I want to make $100,000 this year and maybe I'm just thinking negatively, setting myself up for failure, but I thought about another way to articulate is like the journey to 6 figures. Or I'm trying to think of like a title in the, I've written this email, it's sitting in my draft, so it's called like Journey to 6 Figures, or I'm like my journey to 100,000. So that's kind of, this is kind of, I'll say that this is kind of my goal, or this is kind of like where I'm transitioning out of this. This is what I want to do. This is, money has been kind of a thing that has been secondary to me for a while in my business, and it's now something that I want to kind of put as a primary spot in my business, because I think it's going to give my business legs. It's going to give my soul legs, but to kind of like, it's the oxygen and the kind of validation and saying like, hey, the thing you were doing it the right way, or like people are giving you positive feedback in the form of paying you for this kind of product or this service, and that's my journey. That's where I want to go this year. I want to say, yeah, this is, if today is the first day of the year, this is my journey to six figures. Whether it's $100,000 or $200,000, but that is my goal. Whether or not I do it in the next 12 months or the next 24 months or 36 months, whatever that. But right now we are starting. If this is the first time you're watching this live stream, this is where I want to go. This is my journey to six figures, getting $100,000. So if I were to break that down, say $100,000 in the year, how much do you have to do? What's the math on that? 100,000 divided by 12 months. So 8,300 per month. So that's kind of the goal. Yeah. Oh, sorry, couldn't see that. That's kind of goal, and then you can kind of break it down. You can say, 100,000. That means it's 25,000 a quarter. And this is how you when I look at this, I say, okay, 25,000 per quarter, 8,000 per week. So that is roughly $2,000 a week. Let's call it like 2,200 a week. And this is how you when you kind of break things down into, when you kind of start to break things down like this, you can start to see this is where you look at your value goals and your measurable goals and say, if I broke this down, this is my quarterly goal. I want to make, or my yearly goals. I want to make $100,000 this year. All right, that means I have to at least on average make per quarter $25,000 per quarter, which means I have to be on track every month of making at least $8,500 per month, which breaks down to $2,000, a little over $2,000 per week. So that each week you track yourself. Each week you keep tabs on what's been going with this measurable goal, and you start to, at the end of the week, you track how much money you made, and at the end of the month, you track how much money you made, and that way you say, I made this much money per month. And because the problem with yearly review is, or only reviewing your shit once a year, is that it's hard to see, you were cooking. The best way to put it is if you're only doing an annual review, you are basically cooking, or you are baking a cake with a fire, and you're using the fire alarm as your cooking timer. If you hear the fire alarm going off, that means it's already too late. So that's kind of how I want to break this down. Your measurable goals, you have to look at it from a quarterly basis. So in 3 months, in 90 days, what is that? What are we looking at? What's in 90 days? The end of March. So April 1st, Thursday, April 1st, that is the start of quarter 2. You need to look at where you're at. You need to look at, how am I doing with my habits? How am I doing tracking everything? How are we with our financial goals? How are we with our customer acquisition? All that stuff, you have to start looking at it on a quarterly basis, monthly basis, so that you can keep tabs on everything, so that it's not comes as a surprise at the end of the year and say, oh, wow, the goal I had, wow, we weren't even close to reaching it, because you're able to make adjustments. This is the love-hate I have with quarterly reviews, that, okay, every 90 days, you basically have a 90-day stretch to try to get something accomplished, and you can kind of feel like a failure if you don't hit it within those 90 days, but the 90 days, it kind of, again, it adds that time pressure, that squeeze, that I got 90 days to perform, and I need to have something to show for it by the end of the 90 days, and if I don't, then, again, it's just that pressure. Whether or not it's real or not, or there's actually a negative consequence to not achieving the goal, you have to have that time pressure. So at the end of the quarter, you can go, we are on track, we're not on track. Okay, we did this many live streams for YouTube. All right, now we need to do more. Or, hey, we need to divert. We need to change this. So I thought the emails were working here. Now we need to change it and do this strategy instead. That's what it all is. That's what it's all about with conducting this annual review, and also in 90 days conducting a quarterly review, but also every single month conducting review. This is the first that you're going to be doing for 2020 and moving forward into 2021. And in 1 month, you're going to do a monthly review, and then 3 months, you're going to do a quarterly review. So there's a lot of reviewing to do. It takes some time, but this is how you focus on yourself. This is how you focus on your purpose, and this is how you kind of drill down Again, articulating the why. Why do I do this? Why am I here? What is the point of me doing this stuff? Articulate it, make it clear, and make it understandable to you. And do it every day and follow through and have a wonderful new year. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. My name is Jordan Anderson, and I'll see you on the next one. Oh, and the next one, if today's Friday, that means we're going to be live streaming on Monday at 9 o'clock. If I don't put up the schedule stream, just note that it's going to be at 9 o'clock. Sometimes I'll put it up at 8 p.m., sometimes I'll put it up at 8 a.m., but we're going to be live streaming Monday, Wednesday. Jordan, it's just you this year. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. So far, we're solid. So far, we're staying consistent. So every time you kind of finish dinner, you've got the dishes put away, and you got some time on the couch, open up that YouTube app on your Apple TV like I do, scroll over to your live stream, Jordan Anderson, and I'll be there at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So, yeah, Eastern Time? Yeah, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So what is that? 4 or 5 p.m. Pacific? So we're streaming across America. Thanks for watching, guys. My name is Jordan Anderson.